What's up guys, Rock here, and I wanted to bring you a special video and talk a little bit about Modern Warfare 3. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to play a little Modern Warfare 2, little demolition for you today. And the biggest news that has leaked out has been mainly a series of articles from Kotaku.com. If you're not familiar with that website, it is a huge gaming website. And some information has been leaked on the upcoming Modern Warfare 3, and one of the things I've heard is that it's not going to be called Modern Warfare 3. It looks like that former Infinity Ward heads West and Zampella may actually retain the rights to the name Modern Warfare, and we saw some leaked cover art that showed Call of Duty MW3 as the actual title. Now, some Infinity Ward people have come forward and said that some of the information that has been leaked is true and some of it is false. Now, it's hard to say what percentage of each is the truth. You know, it's hard to say. It's all going to be speculation at this point. I've seen quite a few different pictures, and a lot of them look really good, and I would have a hard time believing that a lot of them are fake. And I've decided not to show any of the pictures because at any time this video could get flagged for some type of copyright from Activision if I have pictures. But since we're just talking about it, you know, it's fine. We're just talking, and talking is okay. So it definitely looks like they're gonna probably change the name of the series to Call of Duty MW3, and that's fine. We all know what the MW is going to stand for, even if we don't actually say Modern Warfare 3. But that's fine. I'm good with short acronym type names anyway. MW3 it is. That is fine with me. And from the leaked information that has been talked about, you know, a little while back we had some scuttlebutt that there was information leaked at an investors meeting with Activision, and today it seems like there's just been a flood of info that has come out. Now, I don't know exactly where the source this information came from, but from what I've seen, it looks pretty legitimate. I would have to lend a lot of truth towards the stuff that we have seen so far. The pictures, like I say, if you want to go check out Kotaku.com, you can definitely find the articles and check it out yourself. And it looks pretty good. And it looks like the single-player campaign story is going to basically start up right where MW2 left off. And we're going to follow a new set of characters. They may jump back in with some old beloved characters. Now, I mentioned earlier that the voice actor that does Ghost and Gaz was returning to Infinity Ward Studios to do some voiceover work. So it's possible that we'll get some time travel type scenarios, you know, where we see something happening at an earlier date in the timeline. I don't think we'll be seeing Ghost or Gaz, you know, come back to life, but we may actually see them, you know, at an earlier part in the Call of Duty timeline. And it looks like we're going to have some new characters from Delta Force. That ought to be pretty cool. And I don't know if this is something they just recently added in, but after the Osama bin Laden kill, the SEAL Team 6 has actually garnered a lot of notoriety, and it looks like they may actually be in this game in one form or another. Now, I don't know if that was pre-planned or if this is just kind of since been added in. Maybe they just named the squad, you know, to something new. But you know, the one thing about SEAL teams, it's their thing to not be known for what they do. They would rather you never know that the mission even happened, never even know that it took place. So it'll be kind of interesting to see, you know, how this plays out in a video game scenario. But you know, we don't really care a lot about Call of Duty series for the single player campaign. You know what we all want to know, and that's multiplayer. Multiplayer is where it's at. Sure, the single player campaign is nice, but that's not the meat and potatoes of this game. The meat and potatoes is always going to be multiplayer. And there's been quite a bit of information let loose that really tells a lot. From what I've seen 20 maps listed. Now, that is a lot of maps right out of the gate, and that would be a very, very nice turn of events to see this, you know, game ship with a lot more maps than normal. I don't know much about these, but I do have the name list here, and I'm going to read it off, and we can kind of speculate on that. Now here again, these may not be the actual names of the maps when they ship. This could be some type of code names for the maps, you know, while the development team is working on it. They may actually change them to a specific, you know, map that has something to do with the single player campaign. Because, you know, most of the time, and I don't know if you guys realize this, most of the multiplayer maps are usually based on something that happens during the single player campaign. But here are the multiplayer maps that they have listed down for MW3. We're going to have Alpha, Alps, Bootleg, Bravo, Brooklyn, Carbon, Coast, Dome, Exchange, Hard Hat, Interchange, Lambeth, Meteora, Mogadishu, Paris, Plaza 2, Radar, Seatown, Underground, and Village. And that's 20 maps right there. That's pretty good. If we get that, I will definitely be a happy person. We also have Spec Ops returning, and we're going to have two different types of Spec Ops. We're going to have Survival and Mission. I imagine the mission will probably be like the Spec Ops missions we had in Modern Warfare 2, which they were okay, but I honestly didn't play them a lot. Just couldn't really tear myself away from playing multiplayer to get into the Spec Ops missions much. But the Survival Spec Ops modes, that kind of piques my interest a little bit, because I have a feeling it's going to be a lot like Horde mode from Gears. You never know. They list some maps. They list 5 maps, I believe it is. We've got Carbon, Dome, Radar, Seatown, and Village. Now, will these be the same maps from the multiplayer that I just read out, or was that multiplayer list just including these maps? And maybe we only have 15 multiplayer maps. Hard to say. We'll just have to wait and see what happens when we actually get a little more information. As far as weapons go, there have been quite a few pictures of weapons leaked on the internet. Some sniper rifles. I'm looking at one that looks very similar to a couple from Black Ops. Let me fast forward. I'm actually looking at this online while I'm doing this commentary. The character models look pretty badass from what I see. We've got a Scorpion. That is clearly a Scorpion right there. The MP5 is coming back. There are a couple of different versions of it here, and one that I see that I'm very interested in is it looks almost exactly like the Call of Duty 4 version, which is what I want to see returned in an MP5. I really loved using the MP5 in Call of Duty 4. It was by and large my favorite SMG to use in that game, and I would like to see it return to its former days of glory. We've got what looks to be, I don't know what that one is right there. I wish you could see this, but I don't want to get in trouble. We've got a 357 Magnum, possibly a 44 Magnum handgun. That'd be pretty cool. That looks like an M21 sniper rifle. That is returning. Not sure what this one is. It's a RSASS semi-automatic sniper rifle from Remington. Looks pretty badass. The one in the picture has a silencer on it. I'm not too crazy about silencers on sniper rifles though, but I'm sure in the game you'll probably be able to use it with or without. Next picture is obviously an 1887 shotgun, so we'll probably have dual 1887s returning. And we have a Scar assault rifle. Not sure if it's an L or an H. Probably an L, if I had to guess. We've got some type of handgun here. It's a P99. Has something interesting attached to the bottom of it. Has a small flashlight. That'd be kind of cool if you could use that in multiplayer. Next picture I'm looking at is an AK-47. It is the modern style AK-47, similar to what was in Modern Warfare 2. Not really my thing. I really prefer the old style AK-47s like Call of Duty 4 and Black Ops. I just think they have a much better look to them. And I'm not really crazy about the iron sights on the AK from Modern Warfare 2, but that's what it looks like. Next picture, it looks like a Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle, but it may be a little bit different variation from the one we're used to, but it still looks to be a 50 cal. Has that very unique barrel on the end, so it's an obvious Barrett product. Next, we've got a new striker shotgun, which looks pretty cool. The one they're showing it here, it actually has a silencer and a holographic sight on it. That's kind of cool. And I have no idea what in the world this thing is right here. I wish I could show it to you. It is some type of launcher, some type of grenade launcher. Wow, just what we need, right? Thank you, Infinity Ward, Raven Software, and Sledgehammer. One other weapon, I can't quite tell what it is. Kind of looks like an AA-12. I believe it is, yes. Looking at the bottom of that grip, that is an AA-12 shotgun. Badass. And I don't know what this is. Looks like a shotgun as well. Some type of bullpup style shotgun. And what else we got here? That could be an M4. Pretty sure that's an M4A1. And I'm pretty sure this is a UMP. No, it actually says G36 right here. If it is, that is a very small looking G36. But we better finish this up because the game is just about over. I'm up in my AC-130 and I'm about to get an EMP. I was running a Harrier AC-130 EMP setup, which is kind of unusual for me. I have no idea why I was doing that this particular game. But that is it. Oh wow, we're going to New York City. I guess that's why they listed Brooklyn as one of the maps for multiplayer. That's going to be freaking awesome. I want to have some very urban type settings. I really enjoy maps like that. And let's hope it's not like a bombed out New York. I want to have the actual buildings, you know, where they've had a fight. I want the buildings to be intact and we'd be able to move through an office area. Kind of like the offices on High Rise in Modern Warfare 2. Something like that would be pretty good. But that's pretty much it. I invite you guys to check out Kotaku.com for more information on these new Modern Warfare 3 updates. I hope you enjoyed this particular game. 48-7, not too bad. I will see you guys again really soon, hopefully with some more information. Have a good one.